Curious about all things paranormal? Well, you're in for a treat. Every week we dig up the top 3 craziest stories and mysteries right from our Facebook group.
That's right. So grab yourself a drink, kick back and relax, and get ready to dive into the supernatural with us. Welcome to Top Paranormal Stories of the Week, episode 10.
But before we dive on in to our first submission, let's take a quick look back at some of the highlights from last week's content.
So in our recent episodes of Beyond the Hub podcast, right on YouTube, we dove into the topic of portals. In episode 1, we talked about the connection of mirrors as portals. From ancient legends to modern stories, it suggested mirrors are a little bit more than they may seem at first glance. In episode 2, we discussed invisible portals. How do they work? Where might they be located? And in our final episode, we discussed the idea of multiple destination portals. Can a single portal potentially take you to different places and maybe different times? Prepare to be transported to a new realm of knowledge. Definitely check those out, guys.
Oh, yeah, they were really good. But now that that's out of the way, thank you all for tuning into Beyond the Hub podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon. We're excited to have you join us for today's 30-minute live stream. Wanted to say hello to everybody in the chat. We see a lot of weekly regulars in here. We got Kevin. He said he thought you might have walked into a portal. We might have walked into a portal.
We may have.
Yeah, we might have. No, don't want to get you guys' hopes up. We don't have anything that we stepped into a portal. But we appreciate the comment. We got Lucy, Leanne. Hi, Leanne. Welcome back. Phoebe, welcome back. Everybody that's here, we hope that you're excited for the topics that we pulled from the paranormal group we have on Facebook today.
So if you are ready, let's take a look at the first video. I believe there might be some swearing in it, but we're all old enough to hear it. Here we go.
I think so.
I think so. All right, so let me just try to get this into frame. I'll unmute this.
It's touching it.
So this is an SLS camera. It works kind of like it uses like an old Kinect, like a 360 Kinect, and it's supposed you can see ghosts in it. So this gentleman here, who is it? Who sent this to us? Oh, this was Beyond the Grave Ghost Hunt.
Similar name.
Beyond the Hub sent this to us. Stick figure touches my hand on command. Look at the little box. You'll see my arm and hand. So this is what the area focus. This is his hand. So let's see.
Which side are you going to be coming in from? Touch his hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
It's touching it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I definitely I noticed this one early on.
Touch his hand.
And it really grabbed my attention because at first glance I was like, is this using the same technology that they used for the Xbox Kinect back in like 2010, 12, somewhere around there? So I was like, that's interesting. I wonder how accurate that is, because it was pretty good at like detecting movement for those, dance games and stuff. But this technology also had a flaw where it struggled to detect particular people with certain skin colors, where they kind of got a lot of negative feedback that their technology that they put out was potentially quote unquote racist. So this one, it's an interesting discussion, I thought, because the potential of the technology making something that's not really there look like it's there, or is the technology actually picking up an entity that's there and we can't see it? Because it's like it has the frame of a humanoid figure, and when he says to touch its hand, it reacts. Kind of similar to when you went on that investigation years back at the was that an abandoned amusement park?
Yeah.
And you commanded the entity that was touching with the
door.
With the door. Yeah. You commanded it to touch the door, move the door. And it did. Yeah. So this guy said, touch my hand. And it touched his hand and it tracked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucy says it attracted too, 100%.
for the whole time. That's so. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? This is more of like a ghost hunting side. We like to hear like stories and stuff, but this, they tagged us in there and wanted us to see this, so this was really cool.
Kevin says Arthur's available through downloadable apps for your iPhone. Aren't those available?
So my opinion on the ones, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here, but the ones through phone apps, I believe, are just a giant scam.
Why do you think that?
I just don't think, like, there's so much that goes into that equipment. I don't believe that the phone is able to replicate that.
Gotcha. So because it's lacking certain hardware to be able to utilize a detecting type of software, you think that it's just making people believe there's something there when there's not.
And the guy who created the SLS device was, even said you can't do that. And he has like one thing that can be used through an app, and I think because he built around the capabilities of the phone, but he still says that the physical devices are going to be better.
Is there maybe any apps that you can get that like connect with a physical device?
I'm not sure. Maybe something that can mirror it or just use it as something to record it.
Okay. Because I know you've stuck with the pretty, classic ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah.
In your experience. But I thought this was just a cool one to bring up to maybe discuss with you guys. Get your take on it. Do you think it was an actual entity, or maybe it was just technology acting a little weird? I'm leaning a little bit more towards skeptical of that one. But it is interesting to me that when the guy who posted the video said to touch my hand, it latched out.
Yeah.
But you could also, like, after recording, edit something in there to make it look like it did that. Like that, the potential.
But that was through the software on there too. Like he was recording the software.
So you don't think that the likelihood of him like faking that?
No.
But so that's either real or the technology is weird,
or it's matrixing something in the image. So like if that was against a clear background where there's just a wall there, then I would say, yeah, that's something. But there's the chair, the window. I mean, I don't think there's like a similarity of a person structured there, but I do think that, be a little bit more concrete if there was nothing there. Well, Jeremy Howard, couple of good-looking fellas.
Okay, why thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremy Howard. Leanne says, what's strange? My dog sits beside me every week and watches you guys. Really?
I think that's actually kind of flattering.
Yeah.
Not just strange. Maybe you might find it strange. Maybe your dog doesn't watch TV with you or watch things with you typically.
That's interesting though. If your dog doesn't watch normal TV with you,
that is interesting.
Then I would say,
But I'm glad that we say that animals, dogs, cats, typically, the most common household pets, have some sort of sense for a good person, good vibes person, a bad vibes person, negative entities, negative energy, stuff like that, and they can see things we can't. Stuff like that. I think that I'm flattered by that, because the dog might be sensing that we have honest intentions and good character with our show.
What if the dog is literally looking through the camera and just sees something standing behind us, and that's why he's
okay. You're gonna freak me out, man. Don't do that. Right. Don't do that.
All right, let's switch over to our second. What do we got right now? We got 100. We're almost at 145,000 members in this group.
I think that's 1,000 more than last week.
It is. I think so. What
was
this one? This one's from Lori Jennifer.
Okay.
To this, she included a photo. It was only meant to.
Well, apparently Lori Jennifer believes that her post was boring without a photo, so she added a photo to it. There's no spirits in the photo. I guess it was just to add something of substance in her eyes to her post, but we found there to be substance in her stories she was sharing. Okay. So I'm going to take it off from here.
Wait, before you do that, hold on a second. Did we ever say Leanne says no, only you guys? That is crazy. Jonathan Hyde says, similar to dogs, do you think babies and toddlers can see things we can't and then forget about the time they are 5 or so? Got a crazy story. We want to tell us that story.
I do think so.
100%. I think we get to a certain age,
yeah,
and something in us just we just stopped trying to find that.
You know that stereotypical saying that's like, once a kid grows to a certain age, they lose their sense of wonder.
Yeah.
I think that's related to it. Like, maybe that sense of wonder is related to the fact that they can see things. Typically, now maybe not everybody, but maybe it is everybody. Maybe they can see entities or something like that we can't see, and once they hit a certain age, maybe there's some developmental step that they'll hit that they lose that ability to do that.
Okay.
My son, speaking of that, last night, my son, so me and my wife were putting my son to bed, and we had the light on our phone on, and we were doing like shadow puppets. And I make a dog. Like, I learned how to do this when I was a kid. You can make a dog with a shadow puppet, and I'm making it talk and bark. And he looked at the shadow in the ceiling of the dog, and he was terrified. He was like scared, and we couldn't. It actually didn't help him go to sleep. It helped him. It made him stay up later, and he wasn't going to sleep because he kept like looking over his shoulder, looking at the ceiling, terrified. I'm like, I wonder if he sees something else than just the shadow that I was making for the shadow puppet. And like he was scared, genuinely scared, and I felt really terrible because we were just trying to, entertain him, cheer him up a little bit. And I remember my dad would do like, shadow puppets when I was younger, but this is as far back as I can remember, maybe like 2-3 years old. I don't know the exact age. And I remember seeing a shadow puppet and not being like scared of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it is interesting to think about that. Maybe he was seeing something that maybe made him feel scared, like something he has seen already. Maybe he has a related experience. But my son's only a little older than 1, so it's a weird age for him to really like put things together to that level.
Jonathan says, I think he was 3. Leanne says, in some cases, they remember their past life till about the age of 5.
That's interesting. I've heard of some stories like that. Okay. So while you share that with us in the chat, John, we're going to go on with this second group posting here. So Lori Jennifer says, I've had many spooky moments in my home, but only one that still haunts me. I'll start there. A few years ago, after my family had gone to sleep, I stayed up to have some alone time. I was happily sitting in my craft room, scrapbooking and enjoying the peace, when suddenly the air in the room felt different. Not cold, just heavy. I felt instantly scared and turned towards the doorway, just in time to see a dark figure peeking around the doorframe. It was about the height of a 10-year-old, and it slowly moved away from the door. It was all black with no features, but it resembled a young boy. Okay, before I carry on with this post, a couple things that really piqued my interest here is, another account of someone feeling the energy of the room change. They felt the air feel heavier. They felt like their sixth sense, their spiritual sense was tingling, or something like spider senses, like Spider-Man. And it made them want to turn around and look. And it's like they're not getting that sense for no reason, because when they looked, she saw a shadow figure. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's a shadow figure. She said it's an all black figure. And in my experience, that seems like it's a shadow figure. Maybe it was not like flat against a wall. Maybe it was just really black. Well, we're going to get a little bit deeper into it. But I just wanted to point out that those are some common occurrences in people's paranormal experiences. So to continue, she says, tonight I came home from a girls' night out and my family was sleeping. I was in my kitchen washing my hands and felt the need to look up over my shoulder. Once again, there's that sense. Mm-hmm. There was nothing there. I have dark curly hair, and for a second a strand of hair took on a similar shape to the boy I saw that night. It was nothing, but it brought back a memory. Okay, so she confirmed there that it wasn't nothing. It was a memory being triggered. I was about 15 or so. My family was on a trip up in the Catskills in an old hotel. We went to different hotels in the areas for years, but the only name I remember is the Raleigh. I don't know if that was the one or not. Anyway, it was the 90s and my parents were very chill. My brother and I had the run of the all-inclusive hotel, and we hung out with a bunch of kids having a blast. Well, it sounds like a good time. One night I was going down the stairs where there was a landing on each floor. At one point, I stopped and looked down a long hallway, and I saw a little boy peeking at me from a little alcove. Then I thought his little head moved back. It scared me so badly that I don't think my feet even touched the stairs as I flew down to the lobby. She just floated down the stairs. I was terrified, but I can't even explain why. Just a feeling. The night before, a worker at the hotel told me that there was a boy who haunted the hotel, but I thought they were just trying to scare us. I also told myself afterwards that the person who said that had spooked me. I was only imagining things, and I shouldn't be so gullible. Anyway, I never put those two things together until tonight. The little boy watching me like that. What the heck do you think it all means? Maybe it was all in my head. Okay, so...
Here's the picture.
Yeah, if you guys are interested. I mean, it's a nice picture.
Yeah.
I personally just want to say that I think that you're not crazy. It's not all in your head. You're experiencing some paranormal activities, and I think our audience and maybe others in the group will also agree that you're having some sort of paranormal experiences here. I think the first encounter that you had, I don't know the timeline. The timeline from having alone time, doing some crafting, and seeing the shadow figure of a little boy, and the time at the hotel. Which one was first?
I love how people just will look at the picture before they read anything.
I don't see anything.
It's literally the first sentence.
Yeah, there's nothing in the picture.
Who says? Samantha says maybe the little boy attached himself to you from the hotel motel.
I think the hotel was first. I'm under the impression that she said that was at 15 years old.
So I don't know.
And then a few years ago. So yeah, the hotel was first. So maybe the little boy in the hotel followed you. Maybe it attached itself to you. And maybe it wasn't a benevolent spirit and it feeds on the fear that you had in the moment when you were 15. And that's why, it followed you. It latched onto you because it liked to feed off that fear. That's a possibility. Let's see what you guys in the chat think about this.
First, I'm going to send the first two if you wanted to click on the links of these yourselves and go to them at a later time. These are our first two posts.
Okay.
So what do we got in the chat?
Lucy said she started it off really good. 100% this got my attention. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that one because it got my attention really quick too. I think she was she said the story really good. I liked that.
Yeah.
She was descriptive. She had a lot of detail. And it was easy to read and it was interesting. And now we're trying to discuss, do we think they're connected? Lucy says, look at the scenery. Kevin says he believes the story. I believe it too. I believe that this, what was her name? I know her last name was Jennifer. I believe she experienced Lori Jennifer. I believe she had these experiences. But if they're the same entity in those experiences, that's really the question. I think that it's very likely. And I think that she experienced the same type of feeling, that sixth sense, that spiritual sense to look behind you because she felt there was something wrong. What do you think about that?
I've had that similar experience in my house after investigation where I've felt things. I mean, it's not even a sixth sense. It's something that if there is something behind you, like just test it out now. Have someone stand behind you and there is a pattern, like you can hear it where they are in that room based on just like the sounds of the room.
Yeah, but that's a physical person.
Yeah. And like, so take that into account when you're ghost hunting or on these paranormal investigations and you feel something there, that there is nothing physical there, but you are still feeling that same sensation as if someone is really standing behind you. It's so freaky.
That's a really good point.
Did we go over Jonathan's story?
No, let's catch up with that. Jonathan Heights says, my wife was bathing my son in the tub and he asked, Mom, are you dead? Whoa.
What?
She, Mom, said no, and my son pointed behind her and said, but he is, pointing to something I believe he saw that my wife did not. What? Was he pointing to you? John?
Yeah, I know.
Were you?
No, he was bathing.
So his wife was bathing.
No, my wife was bathing.
And his son pointed at the mom. Yeah, I wonder.
What?
So if he's pointing at seemingly nothing, I don't think kids just make stuff up like that. I mean,
No, he was not there. Okay.
okay, John, you weren't there. I don't. They need a basis. Like, kids just don't make stuff up. They need a basis on what to make up about. Like, they're not going to come up with the concept of a dragon or an alien without being exposed to it prior.
Or that they could just describe it, but they know.
So if they're describing something that they weren't exposed to prior, that means that they're seeing it in real time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe your son did really see a ghost. That's absolutely crazy. That would have freaked me out if I was giving my son a bath and he's just like staring behind me in fear, and I just turn around and I don't see nothing and I don't sense it either. I'm like, oh no.
Do you still live there? And has there anything happened to you since? Let's go to. Hold on.
Lucy says, I brought things home before. I believe in bringing spirits home from ghost hunts. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think you can bring something home without even intentionally going on a ghost hunt. You could just be in the wrong place at the right time, and something will attach to you and follow you. And then there you go. Now you got yourself a little roommate, a spectral roommate.
Let's go to this. This is Dre Hopkins. Is this able to be seen? Can we see this? There we go.
Okay, let's read the text first.
Okay. Okay, guys, I want to start off this post with a mention that I do not believe in paranormal or ghosts. That being said, my mother does and is a Wiccan and extremely spiritual, to the point where friends have hired her for cleansing their houses and stuff. This is a video from a family friend's house of ours that my mom was called for in order to do a cleansing, as they were having weird experiences in the house, such as hearing footsteps, knocks on the walls, etc. I should also note that this couple is in their 70s and are not computer savvy at all. So I can promise you with 100% on my mother's grave that this video has in no way, shape, or form been altered. This was recorded while they were out on vacation. They set up their camera to try to catch anything on video to explain the noises, as they had considered the possibility of squatters or burglary.
Well, that's smart.
Pay attention to the stairs and the audio. I initially thought this could be potentially be a ball lightning, but in conjunction with the stepping sounds, it doesn't really add up. Figured I'd post this in here. Gather your thoughts on what the heck this is. After my mom went to cleanse the house, the problem consisted, and they even contacted the church, and they tried to cleanse it, and nothing worked. So they ultimately decided to sell the house and no longer live on this property. And they have had no issues. Oh no. Sell the house and no longer live on this property, and they have not had any issues since. Okay.
So nothing followed them.
This is the only time in my life I have seen a video that I can guarantee has not been altered, so it's fascinating for me to see if there is a logical explanation. Okay.
So I first just really quickly want to say that I appreciate this guy's skepticism. Like, he doesn't believe in anything. I can respect that. I appreciate it. He's coming to our group to look for answers, which we may not have the exact answer, but this group that we have discusses the things that are out of the ordinary,
or something that may have they have experienced.
Right. So I appreciate that he's trying to explain this in a rational way with his presumption that it could be ball lightning. But let's take a look at the video and see what you guys think.
Sounds on. Enough pre-talk. Here we go. Start it over. So this is the object in question.
That's weird. That sounds like someone falling down a staircase.
Yeah.
Or like rapidly running down the first part of a staircase.
Oh, wait, is that a staircase? It kind of lights up at the end. It is. When it lights up, is that the staircase there or no?
I think so.
Yeah, that's so. Let me pause it. This is the railing, and it connects to here, and this is like the downstairs part right here. You see what I'm talking about?
Landing. Yeah.
So like it literally sounds like this thing is walking from here, gets onto this landing, and walks down the rest of the stairs here. And it feels like it's holding onto the railing here. Like,
and watch the orb's movement.
And where did it go?
It kind of has a
You see how
cadence.
it's like stepping.
Yeah,
It's
it
moving.
It has a bobbing movement as if it was really taking steps. And at the end, it sounds like,
Look at that. I paused it perfectly.
yeah, it lights up the area too.
This is at the end. This is the final.
Wow, have you ever seen an orb that actually illuminated the area like that? That's emanating a lot of light.
Yes.
You have?
In person.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't get that on film, did you?
No, that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life, and it was like it illuminated like that. But the thing that actually, if we're referencing how big that is, if we're talking about the staircase, I would put that.
It's probably like a baseball size.
From the distance to the camera, to that right there, I would say like a little bit more than baseball size.
Softball?
I would say about this big. I would say about that big.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
So we got a ghostly grapefruit.
But this is definitely. It goes in cadence.
Yeah. No, I think this is undoubtedly an orb in my. What the orb is actually like supposed to be representing, I don't know. If the orb is a ghost of a person, if it's a malevolent spirit, if it's an alien, I don't know. It's just definitely an orb.
It leaves the moment it blows up, so a sense. Like I wish we had the next 6 seconds or so, or the next 10 seconds. I wonder if we can reach out to this.
But that's also why I appreciate how skeptic. You definitely reach out to him.
Yeah.
But that's why I appreciate how skeptical he is, because he is so skeptical that he thinks that everything's fake, but this one he can confirm himself is not. And I'm willing to take his word for it. This one seems legitimate.
That's how a lot of people come to that realization too. Like,
Right.
I didn't go the only reason I knew that things existed is because I experienced them myself.
Right.
But yeah, I would say that is definitely something. I'm going to.
Let me catch up with the chat here.
I'm going to post that link in here.
Jonathan
as well.
Hyde says about the story about his son. He said his son also did not like to walk down the hall alone. He called it the tunnel. We think because he didn't think he was alone. That's very likely. That's very likely. That makes me think back to my. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and I used to kind of make light of the fears that my siblings would have, of like my sister was afraid of going into the bathroom with the shower curtain closed because she thinks ET might hide in there and sneak out, and ET would be like, ET phone, while she's using the toilet or something. So I used to be like, haha, you're so silly. So I'm like, don't worry, I'll take you into the bathroom. And kind of being a little bit of a mean older brother, I would take her in there and then be like, look, there's nothing in the shower. And she'd be like, no, don't. And I'd rip it open. And you're like, see, there's nothing there. And, what if she actually did see something resembling ET? I'm upset with myself my old self, being like, you're kind of a butt. And I've apologized to my siblings since. And I feel bad about it. But nowadays, like if my son were to tell me something, I wouldn't doubt it at all. And this is also before a lot of my paranormal experiences. I'm like maybe like 11, 12 years old. And my sister's like 6, 7, something like that. But yeah, so I don't doubt that your son had some sort of experiences there. Leanne asks, when you sell a house, do you have to tell the new buyers that it's haunted?
We did an episode on that.
I don't think you have to.
There was a case ruling that but I'm not sure.
I think it depends on the state, honestly. Yeah.
Lucy says, orb, Leanne, wow, something there. Lucy, that spirit is powerful.
Phoebe is mind blown. Yeah, we were when we first saw it.
Lucy says, residual. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Kevin, yeah, I can see the movement like it's walking down the stairs. Yeah.
Okay, we got some agreement there.
Plane lights up, then thing else, I'm charging it. You got to put it on lease. Okay.
Okay, well, there's the answer for you. Thank you, Lucy.
But unfortunately, we have to start.
Yeah, we have to wind this down, guys. That's going to bring us to the end of tonight's 30-minute live stream. If you definitely liked what you heard and made it this far, why don't you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, click the little bell, and don't forget to share your stories below and in the group.
The only reason we're cutting it short today is because we have an interview right after this that is going to be really, really cool. I don't know when we're gonna post it, but
It's coming soon.
coming soon.
Are you okay with sharing the topic at least?
Yeah, we can.
Abduction. One word.
Of that kind. Yeah.
Abduction. So we have an abductee interview. So we're gonna really, really, really enjoy this conversation we're gonna have, and we're excited to share it with you.
But don't worry, everyone. The conversation doesn't end here. You can join us over on YouTube Friday, Saturday, and Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll discuss our next topic of the week. And don't miss out, because this is a really, really cool topic we got coming up.
And if you're new here, check out our previous series where we attempt to unravel other mysteries like the time travel and portals I mentioned earlier. Don't forget to always stay curious, question everything, and keep seeking the truth.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see you all live next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep the conversation going in the comments. Tag us in your posts for the chance to be featured. And stay tuned for more Beyond the Hub podcast. We'll see you soon.
Take care, everybody. Be safe.